Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and today we are talking about Palantir, Nano Dimension, and Cathie Wood of ARK Invest. First, we will talk about PLTR stock and how the company is using their revenues to make themselves more money and even more revenue. Then we will discuss NNDM stock news regarding why Cathie Wood of ARK Invest has been buying millions of dollars worth of NNDM shares recently before their very exciting upcoming catalyst. Remember to like this video right now if you own NNDM stock or PLTR stock. Comment when you think Palantir Technologies will reach $100 per share. Go and subscribe to the channel right now, and trust me, I watch my YouTube analytics, so I am talking to you right now who is not subscribed. Go instantly right now and turn on all subscription notifications to stay informed, and now let's get right into today's stories. Wall Street analysts are starting to warm up to Palantir Technologies because Palantir just keeps beating analyst predictions. To catch you up really quick, Palantir is doing extremely well financially because they have $2.3 billion on their balance sheet, which they can either spend or use to invest more. They had revenues of $376 million last quarter, which beat analyst expectations. They had an adjusted earnings per share of 4 cents, and Palantir gained $23 million in cash flow from operations, which would make it the second straight quarter in which Palantir Technologies has been cash flow positive. On top of that great news, PLTR's US commercial revenue increased by 90%, and they added 20 new clients who will pay millions of dollars to Palantir annually. For this current quarter, analysts think that Palantir will again make around $376 million. However, Palantir as a company plans to beat that projection by making $385 million this quarter, while also doubling their free cash flow forecast to $300 million for the year. Palantir's revenues are anticipated to experience a compounding annual growth rate of over 30% year over year until 2025, which is absolutely insane. Palantir is also set to double the amount of commercial clients they have by the end of this year, while simultaneously expanding current government contracts with top secret agencies. Palantir also loves to invest into special purpose acquisition companies, also known as SPACs or SPACs, where Palantir not only invests into these high growth companies, but they also sell them a subscription-based model service of their Foundry Analytics platform, so these companies and Palantir can develop more of a professional relationship with one another for future business endeavors. Now here is how Palantir multiplies their revenues and money through a simple transaction. According to Palantir's 10-Q report, Palantir has invested over $250 million into startup companies, but yet somehow Palantir is guaranteed to make their money back in full with extra. This is how Palantir accomplishes this. For example, Palantir invested $21 million into a company named Sarcos Robotics, which then prompted Sarcos Robotics to sign a 6-year contract with Palantir that's worth $42 million. So basically, Palantir is doubling their money by doing this, and this strategy can be seen in more than 10 companies that Palantir is currently invested into. And quite frankly, it's a brilliant strategy because these companies are not random companies. These companies hold the potential to be future mega cap companies. This means that Palantir will either make back their money through a contract or that company's stock appreciation, or even both. Palantir currently has a market cap of around $52 billion, which means that it's trading at 35 times its projected sales for this year. So this is clearly a growth stock, and I would get in on this stock before their SPAC and startup investments start to gain traction, because Palantir is already well positioned for amazing growth in their own right. But once their future mega cap investments start to take off, Palantir stock is going to take off with it. Now let's talk about about Nano Dimension's NNDM stock and why Cathie Wood is buying up NNDM shares. If you didn't know, Cathie Wood of ARK Invest has bought up around 200,000 shares worth more than $1.3 million of Nano Dimension. These shares were then allocated to her ARK Autonomous Technology and Robotics ETF, ticker symbol ARKQ, and this fund is up over 39% in the last 52 weeks. But if we do some research and look closely, we can see that Cathie Wood of ARK Invest has actually bought much more Nano Dimension stock, because in the last few weeks, she purchased more than 1.1 million NNDM shares, which is much more than 200,000, and that's worth over $6 million in total. And this has happened recently in the last 2 weeks, before Nano Dimension is about to experience a major catalyst, which could cause the NNDM stock price to skyrocket. Now, unlike Palantir, which is a software solutions and analytics platform company, Nano Dimension is a 3D printing company of additive manufactured electronics, which include semiconductors. And this is great news, because Nano Dimension is literally the market leader in the 3D printing space for additively manufacturing electronic devices like multi-layered circuit boards. Nano Dimension can make things quicker, faster, and cheaper compared to traditional means of manufacturing. However, the only time traditional manufacturers have an edge over Nano Dimension is in mass quantities, which Nano Dimension cannot compete with yet. However, with that being said, Nano Dimension and the additive manufacturing market is anticipated to experience explosive growth over the next 5 to 6 years. This specific market is anticipated to be worth around $26 billion by 2027 at a compounding annual growth rate of 14.4%, which is absolutely insane. But the best part, and not a lot of people know this, is that there's increasing government support for additive manufacturing, and a lot of people don't know that. So with the support of the government, additive manufacturing and 3D printing is set to explode over the next decade. And for that reason, which is the government support, is why I like to invest into Cathie Wood's PRNT ETF, so I can capture this explosive growth, or the 14.4 compounding annual growth rate over the next 10 years. The reason why Cathie Wood loves Nano Dimension so much is because she sees how government contractors are using this amazing technology from Nano Dimension, and because Nano Dimension can 3D print electronic parts for drones, cars, satellites, and even smartphones, which are all going to be huge money makers, especially regarding electronic vehicles and smartphones. Some more great news is that NNDM has improved on their revenue generation by a mile, because they were only making around $990,000 every 6 months, and now they're making around $1.62 million every 6 months. However, the company is not focusing on increasing revenues right now, because they are pushing their research, development, and general expenses higher as they continue to stay market leaders in this rapidly growing and quickly developing 3D printing market. Now, Nano Dimension is not a profitable company yet, because they reported negative free cash flow of around $7 million, and the company also supports a pretty high valuation that does not equate to their fundamentals nor their revenue generation. Their stock also has a PS ratio of 114, which is rather high. To put that into perspective, a regular PS ratio is between 1 or 2, but this does change between sectors and industries. However, keep in mind that this is a futuristic company, which means that these statistics will naturally be rather high, because this is a high-risk, high-reward stock. If you're looking for other 3D printing plays besides investing into the PRNT ETF, you can look into 3D Systems, ticker symbol DDD, or Stratasys, ticker symbol SSYS. 3D Systems, ticker symbol DDD, is literally Cathie Wood's favorite 3D printing stock. Another great one is X1 stock, and that ticker is XONE. However, 3D Systems recently had a great catalyst because they recently made 2 new printing materials. And this is really great because they made a very strong aluminum alloy, and they made a metal that's used for making molds in drill bits and drivetrains, and their other material is going to be used in aerospace, automotive, and semiconductor markets, which again, very, very lucrative here. Also, in case you forgot, Nano Dimension has a catalyst that is fast approaching and is going to be on September 13th through the 15th, and it's going to be a trade show where Nano Dimension can show off its Fabrica 2.0 micro additive manufacturing machine at the Rapid Plus TCT event in Chicago. And I personally think that's why Cathie Wood of ARK Invest ended up investing even more into Nano Dimension stock, because this catalyst could be huge. But what do you all think? Comment your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like this video. Remember to subscribe. I know a lot of you aren't subscribed. Remember to subscribe, especially if you made it all the way to the end of this video, and I will see you in the next YT video.